What's going on, everybody? Welcome to another episode of Pretty Lies and Alibis. I'm Gigi Fruit Loop. What do you know?
Um, I know that I just got the best cookies I've ever eaten in my life in the mail yesterday
From who?
from one of our listeners, rolling in the dough out of Arizona.
Yes.
I'm telling you, the best cookie I've ever eaten.
Really?
Yeah, and it was so cool. Let me go. Look, keep talking. I'm gonna go grab it so you can see what it looks like.
Okay. So while she's going to get her cookie, which I'm just going to put out there, she has not shared with me at all. So whatever. We want to give a shout out to our sponsor, Two Cool T-shirt quilts. If you look behind me on YouTube, you can see two of the pillows that she has made for us. And one idea is it's going to be graduation season soon. So it's a good time if you have a graduate in your family or a friend, get some old T-shirts of theirs and make them a nice little high school T-shirt quilt to take to college with them or something.
Exactly, and they can take your T-shirts and make them into a quilt that is too cool.
That is so awesome.
Yep. So,
Let's see the
okay,
cookies.
here it is.
Oh, how cute.
Yeah, she's very talented.
Yeah, no, I
She
love
sent,
looking at her
like,
stories online. Oh, how
yeah,
adorable.
these little ghosts, like she sent, like,
Wow. Those
oh,
look
they're so
great.
good.
That's great for Halloween. So can we talk about the mix up with the money?
Okay, so that was funny. So she sent an invoice because I was like, I want to get it, and I'll pay for it. So she sent extra, which was cool. Um, so she sent the invoice and was like, I went to pay it, and it said paid. So I sent her a message, and I said, it says I paid it, and she said, yeah, you paid it right off, and I was like, oh. Maybe I was sleepwalking and paid a bill, I don't know.
I still have my stamp on my hand from the concert last night. Okay, so here's the funny thing. About 2 months ago, I had told her I wanted one of her T-shirts. And she said, "Well, I don't have any right now, but I'll send you an invoice." Or I thought that message was from me or intended for me. So I got the invoice and I just immediately pay the money. And then so the last couple of days I've been looking in the mailbox for a T-shirt and I was like, well, maybe it's taking a few extra days and I found it's for your cookies.
Yeah.
So
So
I'm at the concert last night and I get this alert that I get a payment. And so I'm like, did you mean to send me money? And you're like,
yeah,
yeah. And then it was really funny.
yeah. But if you're in Arizona, check out Rolling in the Dough. I don't
Yeah.
know, she shipped to me, so I guess she could ship to anybody.
I got to try since you ain't sharing.
Oh, they're good.
I'll
Yeah, I
send
ain't
you $1
sharing.
for a cookie.
I ain't
Uh,
sharing.
so speaking of Michael Bublé, I had the best seats in the house. I'm gonna tell you, I could smell him.
Oh,
He
yeah,
smelled
he
really
sent me
good.
a picture. It was,
It
like, right up
was
in his face.
such a great show. What an entertainer. I mean, he ranks up there as far as people I've seen live. And my t-shirt today is a quote from Bohemian Rhapsody. Thunderbolt and
Cool.
lightning, very, very frightening me.
Here, I'll show you mine because everybody wants to
Galileo.
know. Right. Yeah.
All right, so let's get into this explosive motion filed by Mark Means. I'm at the concert last night just enjoying the view, if you know what I mean, because he is not bad to look at. And my phone blows up just nonstop, da-ding, 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 just literally 20 notifications within 5 minutes. And we find out that Mark Means has filed a motion alleging manipulation of Lori by the Idaho Department of Health and Welfare. The motion says, on or about October 15th, 2021, I met with defendant Ms. Daybell in person at the committed site under the control of the Idaho Department of Health and Welfare. During this discussion, it was brought to my attention of unethical and possibly illegal activity, discussions, disclosures, and manipulation of the incompetent defendant. It says the defendant has a publicly well-documented obsession with the LDS Church/corporation and her controlling beliefs of its divine origins and truth in religious matters. To the point that the LDS Church and its legal counsel and the like can control and manipulate the court system, judges, prosecution, and the like in this very case. This imbalance and or unrealistic belief of defendant appears to have been purposefully used against the defendant to engage and or act against her own self-interest and without supervision of her attorney, Mark L. Means. So to kind of wrap this up, Mark Means is pretty much saying the clinician who is treating Lori from the Department of Health and Welfare The LDS Church and Rob Wood are conspiring against Lori.
Of course he does.
Of course, yeah, right.
Yeah.
So apparently she watched Chad's change of venue hearing with this clinician. And that's when all this came out. Can I just say, for somebody who doesn't understand right now the basis of a defense or a defense attorney, why is she watching a hearing
Exactly. I'm
about
calling bull on the whole mess.
right? Yeah.
Yeah.
So Means goes on to say it strains credibility credit or whatever. I don't even know. Look, this thing had like 1,000 different typos in it. So
I have never seen that word in my life.
yeah, me either, but I'm not
Yeah.
a lawyer, so
Yeah.
to ignore the facts that the LDS Church slash corporation and its legal counsel are possibly involved and or working with the state prosecution, Idaho Department of Health and Welfare, at least in this instance, to manipulate defendant to be forced and manipulated into statements against her interests. These behaviors, if true, are clearly unethical and possibly illegal activities to undermine defendants' constitutionally protective rights.
So he is calling for a detailed and exhaustive investigation into this matter. He wants all parties to be subpoenaed and brought into court. They said this was her homework.
Yeah, and that's not cool. Look, if anybody's in trouble here, I think really it's going to be the clinician, because that her legal case or the inner workings of it or anything like that should not come in.
Yeah. Yeah. Maybe that, I mean, I don't know. Maybe they're trying to use this stuff to get her back to herself. I don't know.
Yeah, I don't think they know she has representation, and if this is true, they never should have told her to call another attorney.
Yeah.
However, at the same time, it kind of makes me wonder, has Lori been complaining about Mark Means, and is maybe
Mhm.
Mark Means a little hurt that she
Exactly.
even made the call?
Mhm.
It's kind of
Yeah.
my theory.
Yep. So allegedly, the clinician told Lori she needed to call the LDS Church headquarters and inquire about getting new counsel and discuss her case. Mean says her wanting new counsel is not true.
Of course he says that.
Yeah. It said in the filing that Lori would not have made this call without the clinician telling her to.
I yeah. Now here's my question. This would be good if it were. Are the calls at whatever facility she's at recorded?
I would think so.
That's gonna probably answer a lot of questions as far as what was divulged between Lori and this McConkey is his name. He's an attorney in the LDS Church, or I don't know if I don't know. I don't know how all that works, but she called headquarters, talked to a receptionist, and got patched through to this guy. So
Yeah. So the filing said that Lori repeatedly she didn't want to make the call and felt forced and manipulated by a person in a position of authority. The filing says Lori stated repeatedly she didn't want to call. I mean, I don't know. I just don't see mentally, if she is incompetent, how that even happens.
I agree 100% because she's not going to understand at this point. Why would I need a defense attorney? I don't even understand what they do. That's the whole point of her being incompetent. She doesn't understand Mark Means' role right now in her defense, and she
Yeah.
can't help him. So she's trying to help herself,
Yeah.
allegedly.
Yeah. So Means is asking, sorry, for all communications related to this, depositions from Rob Wood, the clinician treating Lori, McConkey, subpoenas for everybody. He is asking to disqualify the clinician and the entire Idaho Department of Health and Welfare, order of conduct for Idaho Department of Health and Welfare, and oversight of defense counsel for all future treatment. He doesn't want this sealed.
Yeah,
Ooh.
he said in there that he accuses the prosecution of doing all the sealing. And he says that this needs to stay public. So
she called and talked to an LDS attorney, which we said his name's Daniel McConkey, and told him everything about her case and that Lori made Brady violation disclosures about her case. It is said she made the disclosures at McConkey's assurance he knew everything about her case. Otherwise, she wouldn't have revealed details to him. Okay, we know everything about her case has been brought forth.
Yeah. Now, whether or not she said something that is not public knowledge, that remains to be seen. But here's the thing, if she's incompetent, can he really trust what she's saying, just her?
Exactly. Um, yeah, I don't know. So
It
it
is.
says Lori would have made those statements without McConkey's assurances. He already knew every detail of her case, and the attorney never said there was a conflict of interest and didn't tell her to talk. Their talk was not covered by attorney-client privilege. Lori believes she would be protected by the rules of the spiritual world.
Yeah, so the attorney said he would get back to her, but he didn't. And instead, he called Rob Wood's office, the prosecutor, to discuss the matter. And it says in here, disclose Lori's statements. So Rob Wood calls Archibald, actually. And according to this filing, only said Lori wanted a new attorney. So what Mark Means is insinuating in this is not only did this LDS lawyer say she wants a new attorney, but according to Means, told Rob Wood everything that Lori said. It's not a Brady violation is when the prosecutor knows something that is exculpatory. Y'all, I need a nap. But something that would point to her being innocent. So I mean, I don't see we don't know what was said over the phone, but it seems to me like I mean, I don't see where she would have said something to him as far as, "Oh, this is why I'm innocent." Maybe she did, but that's what he's calling it in there as a Brady violation. So, I
If
mean
if you're incompetent right now, how do you even know what all you did? Like,
right, exactly. So, on Court TV, they had a little panel up real quick. They had a prosecutor who essentially said he wasn't worried about this, that this wasn't a Brady violation, and the clinician is the one who, if anybody's really gonna be in trouble, it's gonna be that clinician, and the prosecutors on the panel said the state should not be communicating with somebody who's represented, obviously. So for the defense side, they had Kirk Nurmi, who was Jodi Arias's former defense attorney, on there, and he disagreed with the prosecutor on that panel, saying that if she revealed facts about the murders to this attorney, who then told Rob Wood, he says that could be a Brady violation. But Kirk Nurmi said that Rob Wood may have disqualified himself and turned himself into a witness if he listened to facts about the case that came from Lori to this other attorney. And he said, with the death penalty eventually going to be on the table, most likely for her, and her having some kind of a mental illness, those are mitigating factors at trial. And that's where the attorney tries to put things before a jury to make them choose life over death. And he says that that could affect her right to fight for her life if the death penalty is in fact put on the table, which we all think is coming.
yeah. I don't know. You would think there should have been an officer. I mean, I know when I had to when I had to go off site and into a facility to serve papers
Mhm.
to someone who was in jail, they always had an officer with them. So I wonder if there was a police officer or um, a detention worker with her there.
Mhm.
I don't
Well,
know.
if she's at the detention center, if she is at a facility,
It
then
should be an officer.
you would think somebody would be posted there with her, as big as this case is, and she's such a
Yeah.
high profile
I just
defendant.
can't see Rob Wood doing anything to undermine this stuff.
No,
I don't know.
and I think the thing to remember is this is Mark Mean's side of the story, and he has definitely in the past filed some motions that sound explosive on paper, but then when they get into court, the judge just really dismisses them. I trust Rob Wood. I think that
Yeah.
at least he called the defense to let them know this happened. I
Yep.
think we would be in a different boat if he didn't call the defense to
Yep.
make them aware, and then we found out another way. I would be really worried then. I'm just not super worried about this right now as far as Rob Wood.
Yeah. So Means also says, in addition, the prosecution has been allowed to attempt manipulation of essential witnesses with the use of LDS Church/corporation scripture LDS language, and LDS positions of power, including but not limited to essential witness. So you have Melanie Gibb, David Warwick, and April Raymond. This includes informal court proceedings. Here's
Yeah,
my
so
deal.
he's pulling
They are
everybody in.
so far in left field. Like,
Yeah.
I don't even know why the LDS church would talk to them.
Yeah, I mean, and I really feel bad for my friends that are LDS because it seems like this is the furthest away from LDS doctrine you can get, this whole thing.
Yeah.
And yet they're still being thrown in at every turn because that was the foundation of her religious upbringing.
Yeah.
This is not LDS stuff by no means. It's Chad Daybell religion.
Yeah. And we know they went way over even her working in the church and being like, it was just, yeah.
Yeah.
So in the footnotes, Means had links to several news stories, including one where Fox 13 posted a story saying LDS Church urges.
It's supposed to be leaders, but Mark Means put leasers.
Here we go back again. Who's proofreading his stuff?
Well, we know who ain't now.
Leaders to not participate in any type of court cases. Yeah.
Yeah. So, I mean, this is kind of all we know right now. I mean, I think this probably will go to a hearing. I mean, he sent subpoenas for Idaho Department of Health and Welfare to this attorney he wants to, because he had to file a motion to get a out of state subpoena. So it'll be interesting to see what happens. There have been a couple of filings in the past that were worded so inflammatory that I was a little worried. So it's kind of like, at what point are we looking at the fact that maybe Mark Means got his feelings hurt because perhaps Lori has expressed she's not happy with him?
Yep. Yeah.
So we will see. We'll keep an eye on everything for you. There's not much more out than this. I'm really curious to see what Scott Reich and Lori Hellis both have to say about this, and then Jesse Weber on Law and Crime. So we're going to keep an eye on what all the legal people in the know think.
Yeah.
And so we may not get an episode in until what, Sunday night?
Maybe Monday because I'm gone until late Sunday night.
So if anything super crazy happens that we need to get out there, I can hop on while you're gone.
Yep.
And we'll keep you updated. But yeah, so if anything happens even late tonight, I mean, that's just warrants a little update. Maybe we can try to fit it in. I know you have plans tonight, but
Yep.
we'll try to keep on top of it for you. It's just, I was really sort of shocked when I read this last night. I had to take somebody home, and then I get home and I'm like, whoa, this is crazy.
Yep.
So we'll see. But look, it's hard not to go to a place where you sort of think Lori is controlling some stuff. You know what I'm saying? Is she making this out to be worse? Is this her only way really to manipulate the situation right now, or is it legit?
Yeah. Or is Mark Means just doing what he does and always making a mountain out of a molehill? And
yeah. And I mean, look, Rob Wood has poured his heart and soul into this case. I don't think he is going to sit there and just potentially throw it away to hear what an incompetent defendant has to say. So I'm curious to see if there's recordings. And then, according to this other attorney, what did he tell Rob Wood?
Yeah. And here's my question. If she's getting treatment, who says what treatment is allowed and what treatment is not?
Yeah, I just think anything where, I mean, I do see the point. If you have somebody who is treating her, trying to advise her on her legal case, like, that's a no-no. And I get the issue with that. But from there, I just think that we're dealing with a prosecutor who's not an idiot.
Yeah.
So I just don't see him doing anything to jeopardize anything in this case. But, you know, like I said, a lot of times the judge just does everything but laugh at Mark Means when he brings this stuff before the court. So we'll see what happens.
Yep.
So chill out, people. My phone I had to turn my alerts off.
Yeah.
It was like, bing, bing, bing.
Yep.
So we will stay on top of it. You guys have a good afternoon. It's rainy here. It's chilly. I'm going to take a nap.
Yeah. I'm heading to Birmingham. So if you know any cool places, I know Saul's.
I
Saul's
know.
in Birmingham. I'm going, but
I'm going to shoot you some money. You got to bring me some barbecue sauce back.
yeah. Yeah,
I'll
it's
Venmo
really
you
good.
some money.
So anything y'all know around Birmingham near there that's fun to do or whatever, let me know.
Yeah, I'm just gonna be binging some TV shows this weekend. I gotta catch up.
Yep.
All right, guys. Have a good afternoon. We'll talk to you soon.